Good evening and welcome out, everyone, to tonight's tackle trading onboarding webinar. This is Coach Frank. I'll be taking you through the tackle trading website this evening, show you around a little bit, let you know where things are, when they are, where you can find them, hopefully to help you get to know us at tackle trading a little bit better. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I hope everybody had a fantastic holiday weekend. Certainly a nice long weekend, and it is the holiday season. Before we get diving too much into tackle trading, just to highlight a couple of things I think you might find helpful. Uh, Number one is the Trading Justice podcast. Right now, I'm in the Trade Center at Tackle Trading. You can just get to tradingjustice.com any way you get to a website, right? But this link will take you to tradingjustice.com. Each week, the guys do the TJ podcast. It's a really good listen, a really good addition to a weekly routine, talking trading with traders. Very informative and a heck of a lot of fun. They also do a really nice monthly newsletter over at Trading Justice as well that I do think you will enjoy. You can find them at tradingjustice.com. This link will take you there. On Fridays after the market closes, you'll also find the Huddle podcast, the link up here at the top at Tackle Trading, just the top 10 stories of the week in a quick and efficient manner to make sure that you didn't miss anything in the week that was. We also have a special webinar coming up next Monday, December 6th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on our YouTube channel. Going to be talking covered calls with Coach Matt. It's going to be a lot of fun and really informative, especially if you're just getting into covered calls. You can set a reminder. We'll see you. We'll make sure that we remind you, our team members between now and then. But you can't set a reminder on YouTube for that webinar. Again, that's next Monday, December 6th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, talking covered calls right here on the Tackle Trading YouTube channel. With that out of the way, let's dive into business here. I like to break tackle trading down into three core areas when I'm explaining it. I kind of break it into things that you can do on your own, courses, blogs, some of the different tools, trade journals, that type of stuff, things that you can do with others, basically the schedule, what are we doing and when are we doing it? And lastly, our weekend reports where we're highlighting ideas and our thoughts on the market for members of our community. So that'll kind of be the way we come at it here this evening as well. So let's kind of start with that first basket, the things that you can do on your own. Let's start with the courses. The 7-Step Guide to Trading. This is a free course that anyone is available to take, and I would definitely encourage you to do so. It's a short course, about 2 hours long. It'll do a couple of things. Number one, it'll kind of introduce you to the tackle trading way, if you will. We, as a community, no two traders are alike, but as a community, I do think we share some core, values and beliefs when it comes to managing the markets. The 7-Step Guide will help you understand kind of our view there from starting at the top of the market, taking that top-down approach, working indexes into sectors, into industries, into stocks, separating sectors based off of strength or relative strength or weakness, choosing our strategy. How are we doing that, right? Finding and analyzing our trades. We are certainly watch list traders here at Tackle Trading. So how are we building and managing and updating those watch lists? Of course, planning, placing, and managing the trade. And a big part, journaling the trade. So in a lot of ways, it'll help you kind of get to know the tackle trading way. If you're newer to the market as well, it will be probably pretty helpful in giving you a little bit of structure and organization. I know for most of us, when we're new to trading, we aren't particularly organized. We're working hard and we're putting a lot of thought and effort in, but we might not be doing it in the most efficient manner. So hopefully it can give you some ideas as well. If you're a vet, you probably got a routine down that's working well for you, but maybe you can get an idea or two that can make that daily routine a little more efficient as well. So that is a 7-step guide to trading. As traders, of course, technical analysis is our friend. It's a big part of everything we're doing. And that's true whether you're a day trader, a swing trader, trading cryptos, trading Forex, trading the futures market, doing cash flow strategies, whatever it is, we're going to be using technical analysis. And of course, Tech 101 here is going to focus on charts and more charts, right? Patterns, support, resistance, trend, momentum, all of that fun stuff. The better we are, the more comfortable and confident we are in our technical analysis skills, I think is going to be a big step towards putting it all together. So, really, I've never met anybody, myself included, that's always right on their technical analysis. We could all, learn a little bit more about it. Would certainly encourage everyone to take some time to work through the technical analysis course. The Options 101 course is really going to focus on the option contract itself. what happens when you sell that call option or when you buy that call option, right? What are the factors that are influencing its price, right? Options are not as straightforward of a market as say the stock market, where if I buy for 20 and sell for 21, I made $1. And that's true whether I did it in a minute, an hour, a day, a week, right? There's a lot of other factors that are going on into an option contract, of course. So we do need to understand those and how they're impacting the contract and any strategies that we're building around those option contracts. So if you are new to options or newer to options, I truly do believe that if we really understand why that call or put is doing what it's doing, well, if we really understand why it's lost 70 cents a day, why it made $1.12 today, all the other strategies are going to be so much easier to deal with. I'm a big believer in that. So I certainly would highlight, if you're new to options or if you're interested in options, or even if you've been around a little bit with options but still feel like maybe there's a little work to do, I think you'll find a lot of help in that Options 101 course. If you've ever been interested in learning more about the futures or the currency markets, but not really knowing where to start, these introduction courses, the Forex 101, the Futures 101, can be a great place to do that, where you can kind of come in and say, okay, what's actually going on in these markets? How does that leverage work? What are the things that make them similar to the stock market, make them a little different than the stock market? It really can be a great place to start looking into those if you have ever found yourself interested in learning a little bit more about those markets. When I was notorious, I didn't want to get into futures because I felt like it was just too big for me. For many years in my trading, I didn't want to do it, but mostly I just didn't really know where to start. And this could be a great place to start if you are wanting to take a closer look at either or both of those markets. No matter what you're trading, what your favorite stock is, favorite market is, favorite strategy is, whatever, favorite patterns, whatever it is, we have to have very clear rules and systems in place governing our actions, right? And I think everybody agrees with that. But it's one thing to say it, another thing to do it. Believe me, I think that's pretty universal for traders. The system development course is really designed to get you thinking about and approaching your trading from a systems builder perspective. It really will change the way you trade for the better, in my opinion. I cannot recommend it enough. Whether you're new or old, love options, love Forex, day trader, whatever it is, whatever kind of trader you are, I think you will get a lot out of that system development course. And I cannot recommend that enough. Would definitely take some time to work through that. We do have a handful of premium systems here at Tackle Trading, and what they are a one-time purchase. It's a system that is yours for life. We get together each month with members of that team in a mastermind group. The Tackle 25 is a covered call-based system on a select group of stocks we put together each year with the intent to cash flow through covered calls, right? The STEP system is our approach to swing trading, just stands for stop loss, target, entry, and position size. The cash flow Condors is another cash flow system, this time on the Russell 2000 through credit spreads. And the bear market survival guide, kind of protecting our longer term portfolio from bearish turns in the market and dealing with those turns when they do occur. If you want any more information on any of these, feel free to hop over into the store, send us an email to team@tackletrading.com. Be happy to get you some more information on any of those systems. Not everything has to be a course or a webinar or an hour commitment. So we do regular blog content here as well, whether it's written or video form. It will be something that we can use each week to kind of share ideas and highlight situations for members of our community, be it more technical analysis in the Tales of Technician blog, more on the option and the option theory blog, hearing from Coach M and the awesome ladies of Tackle Trading and the Women in Trading blog, working with Coach Greg over in the Rookie Corner. So these are just going to be nice little additions where we can kind of share ideas, what we're seeing, answer questions that our community might be having. So it's a nice little additional way that you can kind of incorporate a little bit of learning into your weekly routine without having to make a big time commitment in that side of things. Over in the Trade Center, you will find a link to our trading glossary, a link to our trading journals, a link to our calendar, as well as a link to the Tackle Trading Playbook. The Tackle Trading Playbook is where you're going to find all of our strategies and the rules for those strategies. We're going to break our playbook down into three core areas based on the option Greeks: delta, theta, and vega. Our delta playbook is our directional playbook, right? That's going to be, I think the stock's going from 50 to 54, right? So I could buy some stock. I could buy a call option. I could buy a bull call spread. I could do a diagonal spread. I expect movement. So D for direction, if you will. Then you're going to have the theta, or the cash flow, or the time playbook. This is where we're selling those premiums and bringing in that cash up front, right? That's a really cool thing about options, is not only can we buy them, but we can sell them as well and take advantage of the one guarantee, which is time passing, right? So that's going to be selling covered calls against shares that we own, selling naked puts, selling credit spreads, selling iron condors. Basically, our theta or time-based strategies is what you will find here. And then the vega, or the volatility playbook, this is where we're going to play the expected volatility of the stock or the ETF or the index, whatever we're trading, not the direction. So, we're not too far removed from our last earnings. We're not too far away from our next one. So, and we all probably seen some pretty nutty things during earnings season where, stock makes a huge move, one way or the other based off of the response to the earnings numbers. We can never know if it's going to gap up or gap down and move a lot, but we can know based off of its history, does it have a tendency to do so? Right? Okay, well, let's build a trade that reflects that. As long as it moves a lot like it normally does, we should be able to profit. So that could be straddles and strangles and things of that nature that you'll find there in the Vega or the volatility playbook. On all of these, you will find a video detailing, what the strategy is, why we would choose the strategy, how we would do the strategy, our rules for the strategy. If you're using Thinkorswim, we'll be putting in an example as well if you need some help on the order entry side of things. There's also a little cheat sheet, a little downloadable PDF, so you can have easy access to the rules for that strategy, how much, theta, what's my theta rule, what's my delta rule, etc. You'll also notice there's anywhere from a 0 to a plus or a -3 on all of these. And that's just kind of where we see this strategy kind of along the spectrum of conservative to aggressive, right? So if you kind of think about 0 as neutral, right? Plus or -1 would be slightly bullish or slightly bearish. Plus or -2 would be bullish or bearish, or moderately bullish or bearish, however you'd like to word that. And then 3 or -3 would be very bullish or very bearish. So we always want to match the strategy to how we're seeing the situation, right? If we think a stock's going to be a slow grinder that kind of just works up, slowly but surely over the course of the quarter, well, maybe buying a call option isn't going to fit my read of that situation. Maybe that'd be a little more sensible to maybe do a bull call spread or something a little less aggressive. And conversely, if I think a stock's breaking out of a major resistance level and I expect to see a big move in a short period of time, well, I'm probably going to want to use a more aggressive trading technique, right? And that's nothing earth shattering. I think we all know that, but sometimes we can get it in our heads that, oh, I want to do a credit spread, or I want to buy a put option today, and we don't want to really think like that. So that's just kind of that 0 to plus or -3 is kind of where we see that strategy along those lines. So that is the tackle trading playbook. Over in the Trade Center itself, this will bring you kind of to a what's up page at Tackle Trading, where you'll find what's our next show, our most recent post, most recent tweet, little mini calendar for the next upcoming little while, a watch list if you want to build one here, so you don't have to log into your brokerage account or your charting platform every single time you want to take a look at some stocks. If you do want to use this watch list function, very simple. You would just put in the stock that you wanted to put in. So you wanted to add 3M to your watch list. I'm just going to put 3M in there. Now I'm just going to hit this little plus button. Now 3M is in this watch list. If I decide I no longer need 3M in my life, at least for the time being, I'll just hit this little minus button and that will get rid of them. So very easy to have just a web-based watch list where you can easily check in on things without having to log in all secure. Like there will be a replay or a live showing of one of our YouTube shows here. where you are, if you're taking any courses, where you left off, so you can pick right back up without having to waste a lot of time trying to remember exactly where it was you left. We'll get you right back started. This is where you'll also, of course, find that link to tradingjustice.com. There are some different trader tools in here as well. Over in the market skyline, you're going to kind of find all of the big stuff in one spot. So you're going to find all of the indexes, the S&P futures, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell futures, Bitcoin, the emerging markets, the major commodities, gold, silver, crude, copper, etc., the sector spider ETFs. All of these are a really important part of that top-down analysis, that daily routine, so we can kind of understand where things are, both right now and overall, as we're building new trades and managing existing trades. I think all of this is something that every trader should be doing on a daily basis, or at least throughout the trading week on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be on this page, but we did want to have a one-stop where we can go and look at all of this stuff. Very, very handy. You will also find a link to the Finvis heat maps in here. This will just bring you to finvis.com's heat map for the S&P 500 for today. If you are like me and have a free Finvis, you'll have to click a few ads off, but that's a small price to pay, I guess, to each their own on that one. But another way to just look at the market, right? What areas were strong today? What areas were weak? It was one of those days where everything was doing the same thing. Well, we can kind of see here, just based, we could never make a trade off of, some green boxes. At least I wouldn't try. We can definitely see that there were certain areas of the market, particularly over in the technology side of things, that really shone well today, whereas not so much over in the world of financials, right? And so it's just another way to generate ideas, get a little bit of a different view on the market. It is defaulted to the S&P 500 for today, but there is a little customization. You can look at the weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly performance, fundamental ratios like PE or PEG ratio, how it performed on earnings. A nice little additional way to kind of take a look at the market. So that's what you'll find here in the market skyline. You will also find a news aggregator in here that's going to go through some of the bigger financial websites, Market Watch, Wall Street Journal, CNBC. I imagine the Times will be in here, not too far away. There's one from the Times. It's just going to go through the headlines on some of these bigger financial sites, get them all in one place so I can easily scroll through. Instead of having to bounce around and do a whole bunch of clicking, I can just scroll through, and when a story catches my attention, now I'll read it. It's really just designed to save time and clicks for us. If you're big in digging into the market after the close, and you're probably going to more than one financial website, so it can definitely save us some time. You'll find a link to the economic calendar in here, so you can see what's on the docket for the upcoming day or week. Any economic reports that might impact the market or the area of the market that you're trading. You'll find a link to our market reports, which you'll also find in the drop down up here. We'll talk about here in just in a few. You'll find a link to our search function, which you will also find in the little magnifying glass. And it is a pretty smart search function. So if you're ever looking for something, if you want more information on a strategy, can be a great place to start. You can always email us or ask us, of course, but it's oftentimes very easy to find information through that search function. Another link to our glossary. Again, you can find that on the drop down of the Trade Center tab. A link to a chart if you ever need one. Link to the compounding gains calculator to remind us of the compounding power of money, and another link to our trade journals. Now, you can get to the trade journals a couple of different ways. There is the drop down right in the Trade Center, but I like to come into it through the Trade Center in the tools tab here, like we did, because it will take you directly to the tutorial video. And if you need a little bit of help on those trading journals, that's okay. There's no shame in that. I was kept my journals in kind of Word document form for a long time. And so when I kind of went over to a more spreadsheet based system, I needed a little bit of help, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if you do find yourself struggling or trying to figure out those journals, this will be very, very helpful. You can get them downloaded directly in here as well. The trade journal is where, hey, what did we do? When did we do it? So we can track every trade that we make as data if we let it be, right? Every single one of them. We just have to make sure that we're collecting the data so we can process it later, right? After I've taken 20 breakout trades, I can look at that group of breakout trades. Some probably worked out well, some probably not so much. What can I learn from the group as a whole? What maybe do I need to adjust? Am I being too tight on my stop loss? Am I being too aggressive on my entry? Am I, not waiting for it actually to break resistance? All that information will be there for me so I can make targeted adjustments based off of what I'm experiencing, right? Very important part of this. You'll also find this data research tool, fantastic tool for comparing and building out and comparing our cash flow trades. So we're always comparing apples to apples as we've got 7, different covered call candidates. We only want to, maybe do 2. Well, do we just randomly, well, let's go with these 2, or do we want to dig a little deeper, right? Probably want to dig a little bit deeper. Data research tool will help you do that. And of course, the portfolio journal really to help you keep organized, right? You've got 20 trades going on that you've built over the last 8 weeks. It can be a little difficult to know exactly where you are in your portfolio, but that doesn't mean you don't need to know exactly where you are in your portfolio, right? And so the portfolio journal should really be helpful from that point of view. If you are coming into the trade journals like we did here in the Trade Center, you just hit the tab for whichever one you wanted to download, and you can get that downloaded. And again, you can catch them in that drop down as well. So that is the Trade Center and some different traders tools in there. Hopefully you'll find some of them useful additions to your routine. Let's kind of shift gears a little bit and let's kind of talk schedule, talk about the things that you can do with others. I think a big part of why I love being part of tactical trading personally is being around other traders, like-minded individuals. I've gotten to know members of our team over the years. Some of them I feel like I've known forever. And it's awesome to have friends all over the place. It's awesome to, always know that there's somebody not too far away that wants to talk trading with me. If I've got an interesting breakout candidate, I know that I can find like-minded people. They might not like the trade candidate, but they're definitely interested in talking trading with me. And I think that's important. Trading can be pretty lonely in certain cases because usually you're in your home office by yourself. Your next door neighbor doesn't want to talk trading with you. It's one of those type of things. So community is a big part, I think, of why I at least love to be associated with tackle trading. Every market morning at 11 Eastern, we're going to get together in our Traders Lounge. It's 11 Eastern. Every market morning, we're going to get together with members of the team for an hour and just answer their questions, whatever those questions might be. Maybe you have an interesting breakout candidate that you want to bounce off some other traders. We can talk about it in there. Maybe you are struggling with a particular option strategy. Maybe you just can't wrap your head around that when to buy back a bull put spread. Well, we can kind of work through that whole process. Maybe you've got a trade going and want to kind of talk management ideas on that trade. There's so many things that throughout the this days turn into weeks and into months. I mean, we all have questions, right? And we need to have a place where we can have those conversations. And that's exactly what the Traders Lounge is. You're always welcome in there. No question is too basic. No question is too advanced. Everybody's welcome to come on in, hang out in the Traders Lounge each market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern for an hour. We're not going to regularly record this, but we will record snippets on the of the Traders Lounge that we kind of think will be, this would be just as helpful a year from now as it is today, right? There's definitely going to have to be conversations that we have like that, right? If you're, need help on credit spreads, a credit spread yesterday, today, and tomorrow, right? And while the example might, be different, how we would do it would remain the same. So do keep a lookout for some little snippets in here. You will definitely find them just in that Traders Lounge link. Shortly after our Traders Lounge, we head over to our YouTube channel at 12:30 Eastern for the halftime report, live looking at the market where we go through that daily routine. We work through that top-down analysis, right? So what's going on in the market today? How is it impacting our index charts? How is it impacting the sectors, the major commodities, stocks in the news, really just kind of taking that top-down approach to the market. That's live every market day at 12:30 Eastern right here on our YouTube channel. So every single day, that's kind of you can expect that we'll be here, whether it's in the lounge or over here on our YouTube channel, talking markets with the team. We also are going to have our evening shows as well on Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We do our coaches show. I would consider it the flagship show at Tackle Trading. We're a couple of days into the trading week now, right? It's Tuesday night. Is anything standing out, whether it's from a bullish, a bearish, a cash flowing side of things? Anything standing out? Sometimes it is, absolutely, right? So we can do a quick market skyline and bring that to the team, what we're seeing in the market. But what I really like about the coaches show, I mean, I like that stuff too, but I really like that it allows us to take one of the many things that we could talk about in trading, right? And there are so many, whether it's, pattern, trading cup and handles, trading bull flags, strategies, when to buy stock versus buy calls versus do bull calls, right? Indicators, using moving averages, using the RSI, portfolio design, adding insurance. I mean, so many things that we could talk about. And the coaches show really allows us to zero in on one of those things and have a really in-depth conversation on that. We always try to keep it on topic with what's going on in the market right now, right? Or based off of, questions that maybe members of our team are having. So we always will try to keep it, on point a little bit, but it really is a great way to be able to take a deeper dive into one of the many, many things that are available for us to talk about as traders. That's live on Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It is recorded and archived. So if you can't make it, if you need to rewatch it, if you are doing a search and say, well, I don't care about this thing, but I really want to learn about, trading breakouts or whatever it is, you can watch it in the archives. Very easy to do. You'll find that all directly there in that link. On Thursday nights, also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we do our cash flow club. That is going to be a little bit more narrowly focused, as the name would suggest, on those cash flow option strategies. So building and managing credit spreads, naked puts, covered calls, condors, things of that nature. If you're a cash flow trader, or if you're interested in incorporating a bit of cash flow trading into your existing trading plan, I think you'll absolutely love the Cash Flow Club. We certainly do appreciate good cash flow around here at Tackle Trading as a community. So I think you will probably feel the same way. So that is Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Just like the Coaches Show, it is live, but it's also archived, so you can catch it or previous episodes whenever you need to. We love to have members of the team live with us in our shows, but we get it. Schedules are schedules, right? And sometimes you're just not available at that time, or even if you are, you're busy doing some other things. So that is Thursday nights. On Wednesdays, we do two different things right here on our YouTube channel. We at 7 Eastern do our Trade Masters webinar, where a couple of our coaches will come together with members of our community with a few different trade ideas, bounce them off of one another and members of the team in the chat. The chat will vote on whose trade idea they like the most. And then the winner is declared the Trade Master. It's a lot of fun. What it really is designed to do is, hey, it's Wednesday, right? We might need to add a few candidates to our watch list as we kind of get into the second half of the week. Just another way that we can share those ideas with members of our community. So that's live here on our YouTube channel for the Trade Master webinar, 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. Shortly after that is over, and I came into the events calendar while we were talking there, just to kind of show you this, how it works. It's very easy to find the links to anything you're needing to get into as well as what's going on today. On Wednesday nights, shortly after our YouTube Trade Masters webinar, we head back over here to Tackle Trading to do our nightly edition Traders Lounge. It's going to be very much like our Traders Lounge that we do in the mornings, with the exception of, we just got done talking about a bunch of different trade ideas in the Trade Masters webinar. If members of our team have any questions or want to have a little bit more discussion on any of those, we certainly can and will do that. But we can also just answer your questions. Maybe you just can never join, the lounge because you're at work at 11 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. But maybe, you have a question, maybe you can hop into that Wednesday night lounge and actually, get that question answered live and in person. So we're kind of doing a 2-for-1, I guess, on Wednesday night. So it's 7 here on our YouTube channel for the Trade Masters webinar, 8:30 back over here at Tackle Trading for our Wednesday night lounge. We have an awesome team of female traders with us here at Tackle Trading. They get together about once a month in their Women in Trading Mastermind group. It is, I have no doubt, a really fun and informative experience. I don't get to go. I've never went, and I'm not ever going to get to, but that is okay. I know the team, and I have no doubt that they're in there having fun and getting some good work done. So if you are a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading, I would definitely keep your eyes open for that next Women in Trading Mastermind group. We'll, of course, be sure to promote it as we get that event scheduled for the month, and get in there. Learn from the awesome ladies of Tackle Trading. So that's going to be kind of what the schedule looks like. In an oversimplified way, to think about it, maybe the lounge is for Q&A. It's very specific for what you need, what members of our team need, right? We're not really going in there with an agenda. Today, I'm going to talk about this, right? We'll talk about what our team needs us to talk about, whatever that might be. So it's really for the question and answers. The halftime report is really for that daily routine, working through the market, staying on top of everything. And then the evening shows are where we can kind of put on maybe that teacher's hat a little bit, have some deep dive into some of these different concepts and strategies and management techniques and all of that fun stuff. That is certainly an overly simplified way to look at it for sure, but I think it can help kind of, get things organized a little bit. We're going to keep our team pretty busy here. We're going to make sure that we're around working with the team each day, one way or another, as we work these markets together. So that is going to be our schedule. We recently added what we call trading labs to our offerings. These are monthly subscription. It's a smaller team of individuals that get together to work with either Coach Mark, Coach Emily, or Coach Tyler in their own little group. If you would like more information, I've heard great feedback about those trading labs. They have their own private Discord channel. It's I have no doubt, a lot of fun. If you'd like a little more information on those, you can get it in that link, or again, you can get it over in the store tab, or you are always welcome to email us at team@tackletrading.com. If you're interested, we can get you set up for a trial so you can kind of see what they're about as well. So just to let you know what those are. Now let's talk a little bit about that third area, and that's our weekend report. So in addition to hanging around with our team and hopefully all the education that we can bring to the table, we also want to bring actionable ideas to the team each week as well, and we're able to do that through our reports. Every Friday we get together as the market's closing as a group of coaches. We talk markets, sectors, commodities, trade setups, all of that fun stuff. And out of that scouting report meeting comes our weekend report. The Tackle newsletter is kind of a look ahead to the upcoming week in the market. So we can kind of do a quick recap of the week that was, right? What happened last week in the market. Talk a little bit about seasonality, talk a little bit about the sector performance, take a look at the upcoming economic calendar. Of course, we'll have a video kind of talking you through this stuff in here. Where are we in the overall market, right? In the S&P 500, in the Dow Jones, in the NASDAQ, in the Russell. You'll find the ETFs that, track those as well if you need them in here. DIA for Dow Jones, QQQ for NASDAQ, IWM for the RUD, and SPY, of course, for the S&P 500. Then the new high versus new low indicator is going to look at over 8,000 stocks to see, hey, how many stocks are putting in new highs versus how many are putting in new lows, so we can get a better idea, along with the advanced decliner list, of the internals of the market, right? What are we seeing across the board in the market? You'll find our sector rankings each week. We're going to rank the sectors based off of the stocks that make up the sector spider ETFs. If you're not familiar with the sector spider ETFs, they're right here. These are ETFs that will go into the S&P 500 and pull out stocks on a sector by sector basis and get them into their own portfolio. So XLF, for example, is the financial sector spider ETF. XLK is the technology sector ETF. So it's going to go into the S&P 500, pull out just the stocks in that sector. Because it's based off of the S&P 500, it's going to be weighted like the S&P 500 as well, right? And it's going to get these stocks put into their own portfolio. And it can be a way that we can, just trade the tech sector or trade the energy sector if we want to. It can also be a way that we can just track these. Of course, these are ETFs. They are tradable. They're through shares or options. If you want more information specifically on the ETFs, I would just go straight to the ETF provider's website, which is just the word sector, spdr.com, and you can take a closer look at how those ETFs are put together and who's in them and all of that fun stuff. But we're going to be ranking the sectors based off of the stocks that make up those sector ETFs each week here on this gridiron. And again, we'll kind of talk you through the thought process and everything in the video portion of it. We do break our sectors into three core areas. You're going to have the growth areas of the market in technology, discretionary, and communications. You're going to have the cyclical areas of the market in financials, industrials, energy, and basic materials, and the defensive sectors of the market, healthcare, staples, real estate, and utilities. Each week, we're going to be moving these sectors based off of what we're seeing on the components that make up these ETFs, right? And maybe moving them up a little bit, maybe moving them down a little bit based off of what we are seeing on the stocks that make up those ETFs. It's important to understand what's going on in the world of sectors. Trading's a lot easier when you're kind of going with the flow and you're trading into strength versus trading into weakness, right? At least if you're a bull. So, and vice versa if you're a bear. As you can kind of see, we're going to put it on a football field. Anything between the 40s is going to be, pretty neutral. Between 40 and 20 is going to be, slightly bullish or bearish. We're not super aggressive here at Tackle Trading. Between the 20 and the goal line is going to be bullish or bearish. It's extremely unlikely you're ever going to see us put an entire sector into plus or minus 3 territory, because again, we are not a particularly aggressive bunch, I would say. Certainly, I'm not I've never done that, and I probably never will. You never say never, but almost can say never. But we want to let our community know, kind of based off of what we're seeing in these sectors. Are we upgrading them a little bit, downgrading them a little bit, keeping them the same, moving them into neutral territory, or into slightly bullish or bearish territory? Again, we'll talk you through kind of the thought process there in the video. And again, if you are familiar with the sector spider ETFs, just don't have the ticker symbols handy, they're right in here. Really, it's a great addition to your watch list routine. Even if you never want to trade them, I don't want to trade these ETFs. I'm going to use them to guide me into areas of the market that I might want to look for some individual stocks, right? Or, hey, they're ETFs, so I can't trade them. If I just want to trade the real estate space as a whole instead of go around and try to pick the one or two stocks I like the most, that's a great option as well. But even if you're just going to use them as kind of a tracking tool, I think they're a really good addition to the daily routine. At the end of our meeting, we just will throw out our favorite setups, both bull and bearish setups for the week that came out of our stock and options report. Just kind of share with the community, each individual coach, hey, this is the one I like the most. This is the one I like the most. Just to kind of wrap up the week, the week in a fun manner. If you're a pro member, we got our Discord up and running. It's really starting to take off. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool being able to connect with the team very easily through Discord. So if you are a pro member, get over there, join us on Discord. It's a heck of a lot of fun. You'll be able to talk a lot of trading with a lot of cool traders as well. You'll find a link to the Discord in the newsletter and the stock report, option report. If you can't find it, send us an email. We'll definitely make sure we can get you set up over there. You'll find a friendly reminder to match the strategy to the situation. Again, we all know that we should do this, but we're all human. Sometimes we can get it into our head that I want to sell a naked put today. I'm going to sell a naked put today, right? We can try to maybe bully our way into a trade. So just a friendly reminder to not do that, right? You'll also find a pre-built scanner in here. So if a particular area of the market has caught your attention as you're going through your daily or your weekly routine, and you wanted to take a quick look at some stocks within that space, say the real estate sector did catch your eye. This will bring you to a pre-built Finvis scanner. I'm just going to hit the charts button right here. This is going to include a group of what I consider personally trader-friendly stocks. And what I mean when I say that is they're liquid, they're easy to trade through stock, they are optionable. Now, just because a stock has options doesn't mean those options are super liquid. We're always going to want to make sure that we're checking in on that. We don't want to get stuck in a liquid option. If you don't know how to do that, you'll talk about that in the Options 101 course. If you've ever been stuck in an illiquid option, you don't need me to tell you it's no fun, I'm sure. But these are going one way or another, whether it's through shares or through options, I'm going to be able to find a way to trade anything that catches my attention in here that I want to trade. Just going to give me some charts, kind of a bird's eye view, right? So I can easily go through a lot of charts very, very quickly to see if there's anything worth taking a closer look at. Maybe you like this potential breakout. Could we make a trade off of this chart on PSA? Well, I certainly wouldn't try, but I can see that it's, in a nice overall trend, kind of looks like right below 340's got some resistance. Maybe I'll go take a closer look at that and see if there's maybe something worth building a trade around. Or maybe you like this deeper pullback retracement that's happened over here on O, or maybe you like that we kind of broke through this little double bottom here on EQIX today. Again, it's just a way for me to come in and say, that's kind of an interesting chart worth taking a closer look at. All right. So just an easy way to work through a lot of charts very quickly, to catch some ideas to put into your charting platform and kind of see if there's something there worth taking a closer look at. So very helpful. Of course, we'll have that for all of the different sectors in here as well. There will be a quick world watch, just the world ETF, the emerging market ETF, the dollar ETF, as well as kind of a quick thoughts at the end of the newsletter. It's a big part of what we do here each week at Tackle Trading. I always encourage people to start with the newsletter. Let's talk a little bit about the stock and the options report and how they kind of come together. Each week we want to make sure our team has some actionable technical setups to add to their watch list, so they don't have to spend a bunch of time digging for new trade setups. If you want to do that, I love to do that. Great, do it, right? I absolutely will. But not everybody wants to, not everybody has the time. And we want to make sure that no matter what, every member of our community has quality technical trade setups to add to their watch list each and every week, whether they're trading in stocks and or options. So they're going to be built very similar based off of the technicals, right? Where they're going to really differ is, in the option report, we're going to really be coming at it more from a strategy point of view, right? Maybe it's because the prices, of the stock's pretty expensive. Maybe it's because the options are super liquid. Maybe it's because a particular strategy stands out because of the implied volatility on the options for that stock. Whereas the stock report, we're really going to keep it technical. These are really more designed to be stock trades. That doesn't mean necessarily you'd have to trade them with stock, although, there are a lot of times the reason it's in a stock report instead of the option report is because of the liquid options. Certainly not always the case, though. You can always check and see if the option liquidity is there and you feel comfortable trading them. But we're going to be able to talk a little bit more about, kind of the technical side and the process side in the stock report. We're going to talk a little bit more about the strategy selection side over in the options report. So they are going to be built the same way, but the approach is going to be a little bit different based off of, we're planning on trading equity, planning on trading the option, right? But again, you can always check if I want to trade something in the option report with stock, not a big deal. If I want to trade something in the stock report with options, no harm in checking the liquidity to see if I'm comfortable doing it. If I am, great. If I'm not, great. I'm not gonna fight that. So we want to make sure that you have some trade ideas each and every week, whether it's from a bullish or a bearish point of view, right? We don't expect you to trade all of these. You can if you want to, right? That's your business. You might like a few setups. You might not like a few. You might not like to trade this stock. You might already be exposed. You got too many tech stocks already. You don't need another one in your watch list, right? You never have to explain to somebody why you don't want to trade anything. It's not about what you don't want to trade. It's about what you do want to add to your watch list, so you have some quality trade setups each and every week. And again, we can kind of share our thoughts in the video portion of the report itself. But we do want to make sure that whether you're trading stock or options or both, you've got a good quality watch list to work out of that, could, get rocking as early as Monday morning each and every week. If you are, when you're in here, and you probably noticed it a few times, we've embedded the trading view charts, that was in the watch list in the trade center. We saw it, for the ETFs over there in the newsletter. And of course, we were seeing it here in our reports as well. There are a couple quick things that you can do with this. And I always like to take just a couple of minutes to show some folks a couple tricks here. If you hit the widget button here, that's just going to hide the watch list. So you have a little more chart to work with. Hit it again, it'll bring the watch list back. If you zoom your mouse up, scroll up, you'll zoom out like we're doing there. Scroll down, you'll get more of a bird's eye view. So you can kind of get it sized the way you want. If you hold your mouse button, down in the middle of the chart, you can kind of do this back and forth thingamabob that I'm doing right here. If you hold your left mouse button down in the dollars, you can scrunch up, scrunch down. So you can kind of get the chart sized the way you want it to do, that feels right and comfortable, because that's important, right? We want it to look the way we want it to look. So you can do a little bit of movement on that end. If you want an added indicator or two, find that indicator button right here. Do be aware that it's not going to save. So if I leave this page, this ATR that I just added is going to leave with me, but it's not going to come back with me when I come back later. So before you add a whole bunch of indicators, do be aware of that. If I don't need this ATR to look this big. So if I hover my mouse over the, wall between the volume and the indicator, just hold the left mouse button down. I can scrunch it down or up if I needed to. So I can, again, get that sizing going on. These are swing trade ideas unless we specify otherwise. So it's going to be defaulted to the daily chart, but maybe you want to go in to the intraday and take a closer look at how does this intraday look for maybe an entry or for a stop loss. Maybe you want to take a look at the longer term chart, look at it on the weekly time frame or the monthly time frame. So this little drop down here will allow you to kind of customize your time frames a little bit. If you are one of the few out there that still prefers bar charts to candlesticks, we're candlestick traders here, but I still know a few bar chart traders, and that's okay. You can easily swap that over there as well. Your trend line tool will be right here, where you can either draw, an actual trend line, or you can draw, I know it's not particularly applicable here, but, horizontal levels of support or resistance. You can kind of get that, mocked up a little bit. If I don't need it, just left click it and throw it in that trash bin right there. I'll get rid of that. And lastly, while there's a lot of other things you can do in here, this guy right here is really helpful. In here, we can prep out a long or short position. This is, of course, in the bullish list. So we'll just go with this one as an example here. So I'm just going to select that one and say, I would like to get in, and I'm not going to get super specific. I want to go in above that Friday high, though. So I would say right there's where I want to get in, 109.04. So that's going to show me what a one-to-one trade would need to look like. So if I were really willing to risk $1 to get $1, and I was getting in at 109.04, I think I said, then I would need to get here with a stop loss here for that one-to-one, right? Well, that's fine, that's great, but that's not what we want as traders, right? We want to do better risk to reward than that, at least. So let's just say, for argument's sake, we want to put our stop loss below today's low. All right, so we're going to use today's low as our stop loss, the low of today and Friday, and we've got a target in mind of, let's say, 120. All right, let's, for ease and convenience here, we can see that for every dollar we're risking, we have $1.77 in potential return or reward. So our risk to reward is not quite added 2 to 1. I personally, like many traders, have a rule that says it has to be at least 2 to 1. But to each their own. Okay, well, if I feel like 120 is as far as I'm comfortable taking it, if I feel like my stop loss needs to be here, then I'll just have to pass, right? But maybe, I'll come into this hourly chart and I'll say, well, what could I do for maybe an hourly, a stop loss? And I might say, well, I've got a little upward trend developing right here. Maybe if I put my stop loss below that trend, would that be something that was within my rules, within my comfort zone, and all of that? Well, if yes, okay, right, great. If no, well, oh well, right? So it really is a way that we can kind of build out these trades, visualize them. It's going to do the math for us, going to save a lot of time from having to find out exactly, is that risk to reward there? Where could it be? All of that fun things. You can, of course, do that for both long and short positions, depending on what you're trying to prep out. So a couple just little tools and tricks in there on that built-in trading view on these reports. Like I said earlier, I mean, really at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you have quality technical candidates in your watch list every single week. There's no bad way to have a good quality watch list, right? But not everybody has the time or the desire to scan through the markets every single Friday, like maybe I do. And that's fine, right? That's fine if you do, and it's fine if you don't. But I do want to make sure that you have some good quality trading ideas, whether it be from a bullish or a bearish, have a variety of different sectors or industries represented. So you and every member of our team, including myself, I'm probably not going to trade them all either. I'm going to pick the ones that I like the most, just like everybody else, to add to my watch list. But we do want to make sure that we have some quality trade ideas each and every week. You can expect all of these by Saturday afternoon. So you have plenty of time to get through any or all of them before the market opens back up. So that is going to be the weekend reports. Couple of just last, things as we wrap up here. I did mention the Discord server. It really is a fantastic tool for our pro members. There's a lot of chatter that goes on in there. A lot of members of the community, back and forth, sharing ideas and what they're seeing. Certainly invite you to get over there and come hang out with us. It's really, really cool. It's a great way to be able to communicate with the team. It's been super awesome, I think. We're also active on the social media, right? You'll find us on Twitter, Facebook, of course, here on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. If you ever need anything, you can always send us an email to team@tackletrading.com. Never hesitate to reach out. That's what we're here for. We do have our daily email in the Tackle Today email. If you would like it, just go into Tackle Today and you can easily sign up for the daily email. It will also be posted here on this page. It will get to your inbox faster, but you can also read it right over here on Tackle Trading each day as well. Certainly invite you to join us over on these different social media platforms. If you're using them, you'll find me, over on the Tackle Trading Twitter. Got a Facebook. Well, I'm not a Facebook guy. Some people like Facebook. We have a Tackle Trading Facebook community, right? A lot of fun stuff here on our YouTube channel. We're probably a lot of ways known for kind of our live content. We've got a lot of other stuff over here as well. A lot of walkthroughs and tutorials and how-tos and Thinkorswim tutorials and all of that fun stuff. As I mentioned earlier, I certainly invite you to join us next Monday, December 6th at 8:30 Eastern for our covered call webinar. Easy thing to do is set the reminder, on YouTube. That way, if you're anything like me, I generally forget things, and so it will give you a reminder. Very easy to do, and I hope to see you on Monday night as we talk some covered calls. As I get letting you out of here this evening, I want to thank you for your time. If you're a new pro member, welcome to the team. It is awesome having you here. I'm looking forward to getting to know you. I have no doubt I'll be seeing you around a lot. You can always reach out to me or any of the other coaches or other members of our community, and we're very happy to have you. If you are just checking us out and not a pro member yet, that's okay. We certainly appreciate you hanging out as well. We do have a standing offer of a free 15-day trial, so you can come in and see what we're kind of doing on the back end each and every day here at Tackle Trading. That should be in the link of any of our YouTube videos. You can also find it over in the store or send us an email to team@Tackle Trading, and we can get you set up for a trial. But certainly appreciate everybody's time here this evening. We'll wrap it up for the day, but thank you so much for your time. Have a great week, both in and out of the market. Make sure you're trading smart, and I will see you again in the not too distant future. But until then, welcome to Tackle Trading. Have a great night.